This Saturday, you will see him for the final time, as we have not been able to see him to the same level of the competitors that have been in the ring with him his entire illustrious career, as we bid farewell to nearly 25 years later, the sports entertainer of WWE, as said by his opponent, John Cena, as we bring you once again another Simple Retrospective, courtesy exclusively of the Simple Man's brand. Welcome to tonight's episode of the John Cena Simple Retrospective, episode 2. Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again to this little side project I'm doing ahead of our call of John Cena's final match this Saturday night from our nation's capital for John Cena's final match as we prepare for Saturday night's main event, as we prepare to once again witness him for the last time. You can't see him, but you can see me. I am the Simple Man of the Simple brand, the voice of SRS for involved professional wrestling. Damn it. My name is Noel Foster. With me tonight is another fan of the C Nation and a great fan of the SRS. He works 24/7, 365 all the time, day and night, may not know Mandarin, but has the same hustle, loyalty, and respect moral code that John Cena has prided himself on the last 23 years or so. It's a pleasure tonight to have with me part of Super Reliable, for we are truly super reliable. It's Mr. Reliable himself, Walter Cruz. Walter, how are you this evening? Welcome to my new little side tangent I started called the Simple Retrospective, as we celebrate, look back on John Cena's career, and also think about what made him, what may have broke him, and what he might need towards his final match against his opponent for the first time ever, the Lean General GUNTHER. Walter, how are you?
I'm doing well. How's it going? I like this side project. I mean, I'm glad you came up with this, and what better time and fitting than when the end of what most people consider the GOAT.
Yes.
Um, yeah, it means a lot watching his where he came from ruthless aggression, from those weird little shorts to the freestyle rapping, being a heel to being one of the greatest baby faces there ever was, to the point where I used to get frustrated when he won too much. I used to call him Super Cena and turn off some of the matches. I really was. I was like, oh, he's winning. But he was the one where, like how we said, you can't go against Roman. He was the one that you couldn't go against, like in any prediction. If we had prediction leagues back in the midst of his career, you would never pick against him.
That's a very fair point, and I thank you for joining me here. So before we get into things, again, shout out to the Baller Big G that joined me last night. You could, of course, watch the inaugural episode. Again, follow the Big Baller. Appreciate him as always. God bless him. Well, that being said, Walter, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like too much of the same thing. We're tired of the same song and dance. Can we please get something different? But he has been Mr. Consistent, and he always drew an audience. Whether you hate him or love him, he gave you a reason to react, because the faithful want to see him succeed. The haters, they want to see him finally dropped off the face of the earth or from his poach, if we're being perfectly honest here. So, that being said, you, of course, have been a John Cena fan for a long time. Why don't you go ahead and put some retrospect on what John Cena has meant for you as you look at this unique little honoring table that I met as we pick one of his matches to call. That may not be on this graphic, by the way, folks. So tell me a little bit about John Cena's meant to you, and what match have you chosen to look back on during this Simple Retrospective?
John Cena, whew, what he meant. He meant a lot in terms of underdog, because he really was the underdog at first. I mean, eventually, you know how CM Punk said it, you became the New York Yankees. But he really was after a while. But you know, when he was the underdog, what he represented was rebellion against, kind of like how Stone Cold was against his boss. Just
What?
it was the attitude of it wasn't the attitude era, so it wasn't violence against this man, but it was rebellion. He didn't have to wear suit and tie. No offense, no, everywhere he went. He had the jorts, and he did the throwback. He brought, like, for lack of a better word, black culture, even though it's not black. He brought black culture more to TV without the stereotype. Because I feel like every other person, like Prime Time and other characters, did stereotypes. He wasn't the stereotypical. He did his freestyles that was cool. The freestyles were the awesome stuff. Like the insults and everything that he did. That was the dope Cena. And it brought the basketball. I'm a basketball fan. It brought the basketball jerseys, the football jerseys, all that was on TV. He wasn't all a kiss ass suit and tie wearing person, and it opposed a lot of people. So for that, the biggest opposer of that, because people who wore suit and tie and thought they were the was JBL. So I said, let me bring back that feud of 2005, I believe it was WrestleMania 21. So JBL versus Cena, which in fact that's when he first went from the U.S. title and stepped to the next level. So I think this is when Cena really became Cena. Was right after WrestleMania 21. He became bigger than he's ever been, and he proved to Vince McMahon that he can carry the company.
Okay, I like that. And of course, like you said, John Cena, down to earth, straight from the streets, thugonomics, hip hop, rap, being all that. Why, of course, the top 1% thought that was the furthest thing from a class act. Probably thought was absolutely whack. JBL that opposed everything to the common folk, not named the $1 million man, forcing people to do what he says, saying that I am a wrestling god, and of course, holding WWE down hostage in his own form of integrity, thanks to his cabinet. To your point, of course, this was following the fact that he destroyed John Cena, trying to bring a much more what he called mediocre identity towards the WWE United States Championship when he introduced the spinner design. And his chain gang were ruling Friday nights, as JBL, of course, destroyed that title alongside his cabinet. Of course, we remember, of course, Orlando Jordan and others, which led inevitably to John Cena on this road to take down authority for the first time, stand up against corporate greed, and of course led to this historical moment where Hollywood became reality. You think about, again, a few good men, the vignettes, of course, about John Cena and JBL saying, "There's no any interference." But yeah, the biggest thing I take away from this, you're right. This is one of those things that show that anybody could be somebody in the WWE. You don't have to change who you are. You don't have to sell out. You don't have to be just about greed. And John Cena represented that culture, that, let's call it what it is, economy class, where nowadays we look at the economy being top 1% and everybody else. Hello, I'm Noah Foster. I'm part of the 99%. So I like that you put this a lot. And to your point, it was John Cena's first of 17 World Championship attempts to claim the title, of course. So I think without further ado, Walter, you picked it on your cue. I'm at the 1 second mark. Why don't you count it down and we will retro call this back from WrestleMania 21.
All right, hold on. Let me get to 1 second too. All right, 3, 2, 1, hit play.
And welcome in, folks, again this retrospective as we look back in time to John Bradshaw Layfield with a police escort and the Bullhorns on the white stretch limo, taking on John Cena, defending his WWE Championship, the most notorious WWE champion at the time in SmackDown history, since holding on to that title. Of course, the original WWE Championship design.
He held it for over a year, didn't he?
He did.
And he beat Eddie Guerrero in a freaking rope match.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember, at one point, he literally had his car Grand Theft Auto by Eddie Guerrero and his wheels hijacked and was taken for a joyride of a lifetime.
Eddie Guerrero, that was the bloodiest match for Eddie. Oh my God, I remember that.
And of course, that would follow with one of the bloodiest matches, if not the most bloody match in John Cena's career, following the events of that. But of course, that was beyond this. This was at the time when WrestleMania went hard with WrestleMania 21, as John Bradshaw Layfield leading his cabinet alongside, you see, the United States champion, Orlando Jordan, as the JBL Bucks fall down in the arena.
I remember that stupid dance JBL used to do. When he...
Texas two-step, yeah, about to say. Of course, there was none of that night. Staying serious, of course. People thinking they got money. Nope, it was just a freaking fake-ass Benjamin with JBL's fake-ass smile on it. Of course, a sold-out Staples Center, of course, as back then, WWE didn't do, like, giant arenas and venues, but you see, literally sold out to the Raptors.
I liked Booker T commercial for this.
Oh yeah, pop. What was it? Pop culture, I think.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. I'm sorry, but pop culture is just literally the fad of the lifetime there.
And I think Undertaker was playing Dirty Harry. Was it Undertaker that was Dirty Harry?
Yeah, it was Undertaker that was playing Dirty Harry. You feel lucky, punk. Well, do you? And of course, Kurt Angle, and I believe it was it Chrissy Hemme, I think, was in the diner.
Yeah.
And then nobody could do Taxi. You're talking to me? Oh, you're talking to me? When Big Show got so pissed off, he threw the producer against the damn wall.
Yeah.
Oh, those vignettes, timeless classics.
I love
Again,
it.
JBL just literally soaking in his own over glorified corporate greed and ego, kissing the richest prize, of course, the WWE title that he holds probably more valuable than life itself at that time.
He definitely needed a break. I forgot. I see the big knee brace. He was injured. He was fighting injured a lot.
And of course, you think about, again, to your point, not only the people he beat, but the amount of wars he'd been in, including a barbed wire steel cage match against the Big Show at No Way Out, which probably didn't help those lingering injuries.
And then JBL and Orlando had to take on Cena and Big Show, which is what kind of led to this.
And speaking of which, just listen to that pop back then, by the way. Not a single bit polarizing, 100% unified for the leader of the chain gang, John Cena.
Do, 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 do.
That damn thing lawsuit about the trumpets.
Because it used a sample from the 70s.
Anything uses a sample from the past. And of course, the chain gang, all about that bling bling, Walter, and the spinning.
Forgot about that. Remember, he was heel. He used to use the chain with the lock as a weapon.
Yeah, but in this case, it was a welcome weapon because at the end of the day, he was literally going up against the boss. Well, the self-proclaimed boss in this case. It's all itself.
At one point, he represented the underdog. Look, he was the underdog here.
He was the underdog, and then he became the everyday man. But in this case, he was the leader of his own chain gang, looking to seize the WWE title for the streets. Just a tough, straight-up brawler from Newbury, Massachusetts.
You mentioned No Way Out. He fought Kurt Angle one-on-one that year, and the winner was the #1 contender. And that's how he earned this title shot. He beat Kurt Angle.
And I think, of course, prior to that, it was literally that first match with Kurt Angle where we saw the arrival of the prototype demonstrate ruthless aggression. And during this era, John Cena personified that, taking no prisoners and no shits from anybody.
Look at that. JBL didn't even want to give the ref the title. Nick Patrick. I hated the way he counted.
Guy. That was
It was something about the way he did his arm. I don't know. I know it's weird. It's like, what is wrong with you? But I hated the way he counted. I don't know what it was. It was the way he, watch. You'll see. It's annoying as hell.
Well, he never did it full on forearm like they do nowadays. For example, he always did it awkwardly. So it was never really a clear count. Either way, he was the referee at the time. The bell rings, and this WrestleMania throwback is underway in John Cena's career in this Cena retrospective.
This is back when they had separate Raw and SmackDown. It actually meant something because he was a SmackDown rep.
Yeah, about to say, when you see about a blue shirt, not to mention the commentary at this time was Michael Cole and Taz. Talk about how both men come from different walks of life. One literally eats with caviar, while the other one eats with Mickey D's. Carnival tie-up here in the early going. WrestleMania 21, folks, was April 3rd, 2005. To Walter's point, the first time John Khalifa won this title was the previous year in June at the Great American Bash, how fitting of a stage, against Eddie Guerrero in a Texas bull rope match.
Looking at Cena's body, I don't think the man was eating McDonald's. I think that was kind of a lie there.
That's fair enough. In-N-Out Burger, they are out of California, and he did also train there first with Samoa Joe. We'll go with that. How about that? And caught off guard, and JBL just running through him with the shoulder tackle. To your point, JBL survived during this run. Triple threats, barbed wire steel cage, fatal four-ways, hardcore title matches against Hardcore Holly, and even a last ride match against The Undertaker. I believe that was the match where JBL said, "I was never the same height again."
Yeah, he survived one-on-one with The Undertaker.
Courtesy of the greatest general manager of all time, Teddy Long, player. Holla, holla. And this would be his 13th defense of the WWE Championship. 11 successful defenses already underneath his run of near 300 days, just heated off against John Cena. To pick this acolyte, the definition of a man that worked for the highest bidder, becoming his own millionaire on Wall Street.
Oh man, remember when he had to hire
Oh,
Shawn Michaels and the embarrassment he put him through?
yeah. Well, at the end of the day, John Cena got his payback, and Shawn Michaels got paid with interest.
And I think look at the difference. I
Oof.
think Cena's 6'1" ish. I think JBL's like 6'5", 275
Remember?
at this point.
Whoop. Yeah, 2 count. John Bradshaw was always a heavier Texan. Let's be honest here. Despite the fact he pretty much discounted himself from being known from that city, calling himself now from New York City. You think John Bradshaw laid
Yeah.
out this time? And nowadays, it's 59 years of age, clotheslining people from every independent promotion you can think of. To your point, 6'5", 282 pounds.
So yeah, I knew he was somewhere around that area.
Wouldn't be surprised if he's 6'1" now and a little bit less than that. Again, you see John Bradshaw just exercising his will against John Cena.
Choking the hell out of him. Referee giving some leeway.
Well, again, for the WWE Championship. Uh-oh. Oh, God.
Ooh.
Hung up on the second rope, throat first.
Hung up to dry.
It's kind of hard to freaking freestyle when you can't freaking use your voice.
Right.
And of course, the level also here, Walter, to your point, is experience. John Bradshaw is a 10 WWF WWE veteran at this point. John Cena was still very much the new kid on the block.
Yeah. He debuted, what, 3 years before this?
In 2002, Ohio Valley Wrestling, of course. Planted! Jesus!
Damn!
Buster.
That'll make Arn Anderson proud.
I say, to your point, one step ahead of him. You see right now, John Bradshaw having the advantage of the cover with a very, like, there's the cover, the forearm gets a 2 count.
Nonchalant didn't put no weight on Cena.
Again, he literally caught Cena on the button with that.
I think it might be a case of he took him lightly. Like, he was like, there's no way some rapping, jean jort wearing guy is going to beat me.
I mean, the first time these two met each other was Survivor Series 2003, Survivor Elimination. Cover 2. And Nick Patrick always on his side was always counted with the side of his arm and then the palm of his wrist. So it's almost like he gave you like a split second to almost figure out a way to stay in it.
I hated the way he counted. I don't know. It's just my own little pet peeves. I hate it. It just looks awkward.
I honestly don't blame you. I mean, at one point prior to this, again, to your point, Bradshaw and Cena, they were on the same page. Freaking APA and Cena was like night and day, pretty much working together. Survivor Series Elimination was Team Angle versus Team Lesnar, and both these men were together. Again, JBL just literally exercising his will against his challenger, the former WWE United States champion, who, of course, beat Big Show at WrestleMania 20 for his first accolade in his young career. Freestyling, of course, while he was talking about who he was facing. Oh, God.
Ooh. Hey! Don't take out Okada's move 20 years.
And gets the short on the bottom rope. Short range lariat, of course, a short range clothesline. JBL with one of the meanest right arms you will ever face, let alone never want to face, taken into your throat.
Thought I was looking at Okada for a second after that short arm.
Well, I don't know if JBL's clothesline from hell, it's card baseball bats, but I do see what you mean. And JBL has such a nasty, nasty streak.
I mean, that was pretty much the Rainmaker without the spinning part.
And John Cena off the ropes. JBL again catching him in the Rainmaker choke sleeper hold, keeping him towards center, trying to squeeze the light out of the leader of the Chain Gang.
And this is the type. He wasn't a never give up person. He tapped a few times to Kurt Angle.
Yeah, but again, that was when John Cena was just first literally getting his feet wet in this business. To your point, though, John Cena has tapped out. Keyword tapped out 4 times in his career, and they were all literally within his first 3 years.
I'm going to guess Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit. Who else made him tap?
Think about it.
I know Kurt Angle's one. I know Chris Benoit's got to be the other.
2002 was Chris Jericho. 2003 was both Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle. And Kurt Angle caused John Cena to tap out not once, but twice. 2003 and 2005. John Cena has never given up tapping wise since.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Over
Nick
20
Patrick.
years of no tapping.
And swinging a miss, and John Cena once again. Watch out, both men collide out of the ring. If John Cena can make it to his feet, maybe he could try and mount a comeback here. The WWE champion down for now. You did talk about again how JBL has been again put through hell and back up to this point. Probably dealing with a lingering knee injury. John Cena, by the way, folks, right now is 48 years of age, 6'1", 251 pounds overall. Which means back then, WrestleMania 21, 20 years ago, this man was less than 30 years old. Whoa! And Cena literally thrown out to the outside through the second and top rope, face first on the floor. Another vicious swinging net breaker.
Oof.
Third net breaker of the match we've been keeping track, by the way, Walter. And of course, softening that neck to not be able to handle the impact of that clothesline from hell.
That clothesline really was, man. Bouncing is such a simple thing, but when you get hit by the man the size of JBL, it's twice as impactful.
Pride himself on that, of course, being his moneymaker.
Was it the FU back then? Was it still the FU?
Oh yeah, it was still very much nothing but attitude, despite the fact the WWE logo existed without the F, but it never lost its edge until literally the reality era. And now JBL just off against Cena.
Can you believe that it's now longer? It's been longer WWE than it's been WWF.
Yeah, it's crazy to think.
Yeah.
Now John Bradshaw Layfield hooking up John Cena, possibly out of the corner for a massive superplex.
Got it. That move takes the hell out of that. Takes both people out of it, though.
Yeah, to your point, JBL unable to capitalize. Just a stiff fall to the back. You see right now, John Cena trying to get maybe some feelings back in his arm. Now shoots the half to JBL into the cover and gets a 2 count, says Nick Patrick.
God, that annoying count. Ugh.
A little bit of frustration, maybe perhaps coming out of the self-proclaimed wrestling god.
Wait a minute. When the hell did JBL climb ropes?
Went for a big move here. Out of the corner. What the hell? Oh, man. Kind of power slam.
Dude, I don't remember JBL ever going to the top rope.
But that just goes to show how much hatred he had towards John Cena back then when it came to beating. Remember, at a time, these two had a non-verbal face-to-face. JBL couldn't touch Cena. Cena couldn't touch JBL. What did Cena do? Pour water on him, sprayed him with yellow paint. John Cena has made an embarrassment out of John Bradshaw Layfield up to the road to WrestleMania at that point. Big right hand again. Oof. You were saying?
Cena's a lefty, but look at he's going on with these rights.
Well, you and I have always talked about John Cena being more of a brawler than a wrestler, and dealing with a man that's all about bar fights. You would think that would almost be equal footing at 3-point stance, running through with the shoulder tackle.
He did mention that in the Chris Van Vliet interview about they said what bothered you the most, and he was talking about that you can't wrestle chance. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see it?
I saw both Tom and Ali and Chris Van Vliet. Big G also brought up that point last night. I was always trying to evolve to keep up with this business. Triple H, adapt or perish. That is evolution. Five knuckle shuffle.
Wow.
Cena just taking it all in.
Pump it up. Wait. Throw it back to the year 2005. He's literally pumping up sneakers.
And meanwhile, JBL looking for that close down from Hill. John Cena ducks underneath, hoisting up John Bradshaw Layfield. Up on the shoulders. FU connects. Counter 2. John Cena wins the WWE Championship.
I don't know why I thought this match was long. I thought he kicked out of one of the FUs. I haven't seen this match in a while. There it is, 1 of 17. Who would have known that he would have been 16 more times won that title?
Not to mention, that was the only time ever of his runs he held that version of that title. And now it's going into the WWE Universe to celebrate.
How many times did he go into Mania defending it, man? This is the first time he had to win it.
Again, the comeback kid. Of course, JBL christened him Big Match John.
Is that his brother?
I'm not sure, actually. Is that King John? Dodging the clothesline from hell as John Cena falls into the WWE Universe that have been long with him for this ride and has truly accepted him as one of their own.
Yeah, back when tickets weren't, $20,000 to sit there.
And you also didn't have a smartphone to distract you.
What
John Cena freaking did it.
05, what did you have? A BlackBerry, probably?
That's probably accurate. Again, you saw the replay. If he hit that clothesline from hell, John Cena's hopefully been sent to hell. Instead, fuck you, JBL. One FU later, and the GOAT to be won his inaugural title. And look at the emotion on that man's face.
Biting it. He looks like such a kid that opened what he wanted on Christmas right now.
Well, you think about that picture of that little kid that was holding what he believed was the championship of the universe. Who knew that imagination would go so far? WrestleMania 21 to John Cena back then might as well have been a fever dream of what you didn't think could be.
He went from cardboard to 15 pounds, huh?
And a spinner included. Well, that being said, Walter, great first perspective there. So when you look at that match, you talk about the ruthless nature of John Cena, taking it to the champion's frustration there. What do you think was one of the biggest things that John Cena gained in that match? Besides the title, obviously.
I think he gained trust by the leadership. And all honestly, backstage, I think Vince saw that and was like, I got something with this guy. And that's why he became pushed as I hate comparing people, but he pretty much was like the Hulk Hogan of that era.
Okay, that's a fair point. Well, that being said, folks, that concludes part one of this John Cena Simple Retrospective. When we return, we will come back to you with part two as we load up the next match that Walter has also picked. In regards not to John Cena, but somebody that might literally know what it means to be humble when you think you truly are above everyone's level. So before we take a break to set up for the next video, Walter, what did you choose considering what is ahead this Saturday with John Cena's opponent?
I chose the era that was your NXT, the NXT UK era. I chose not Gunther, but Walter versus Ilja Dragunov, the rematch, part 2 at NXT TAKEOVER 36.
Very interesting. All right, folks, we're going to give you a short break and show you what the Saturday Night's Main Event card looks like. And within the next minute or so, we'll be right back to bring you our retrospective on this match, what Walter Gunther learned or gained that night, and what John Cena may need to be as a comeback kid, even though it's the first time and the last time. Stay tuned as this John Cena Simple Retrospective continues. And I already got mine set up for 2 seconds, so just so you're aware. All right, and welcome back, everybody, once again to the second half of episode 2 of the John Cena Simple Retrospective. Tonight, featuring Walter Cruz, as we prepare for Saturday night for John Cena's final match at Saturday's Main Event from Washington, D.C., where John Cena takes on Darlene General Gunther. In Gunther Walter's words, the best sports entertainer of all time versus the best professional wrestler of all time. First time ever encounter, period, inside the squared circle as this retrospective continues. Again, Walter, you put the hell of a freaking follow up here. So before we dive into this, Walter, Ilja Dragunov, two men that have been locked together in their journey of growth and professional development since 2017 on WXW through Progress, through NXT UK, and of course, now through NXT in what was the beginning of the end of what used to be my NXT. That being said, why did you pick this match regarding Walter Gunther here, who truly seemed like an anomaly that couldn't be stopped? Looking at how we look at Gunther, who's already shown vulnerability, been brought back, went back to these roots, black and white Imperium, Ringkampf, Ring General, true foundation of wrestling. What made you pick this?
I wanted to pick the rematch because, in all honesty, there was a brutal match in October of 2020. I want to say between Ilja Dragunov and Walter, which was the UK Championship match. Walter ended up winning that, which, in my opinion, left Dragunov kind of mentally scarred, and then he started becoming obsessed with like overcoming him. He had to prove himself to him. So then there was a. Let me see if I can remember my NXT. You know my memory. There was a triple threat match that Dragunov won to get the number one contendership, which led to that. Then there was that contract signing that freaking broke apart. I don't know if you remember that, but there was a contract signing with Dragunov.
I very much do. Umbatsi.
Yeah, and he stated how much he hated him, but then he got injured, which was what postponed the fight, which is why we had to wait till NXT TAKEOVER 36. But yeah, Dragunov became so obsessed that his one thing he wanted to do was beat Walter, and because I was gonna pick the October 2020, but then it would have been like Gunther winning the UK title, and we did Cena's winning the title. So I wanted to do something and go in a different route for the Gunther part.
All right. Well, versus showing absolute dominance versus showing when you literally know your time is up. Interesting choice. Well, let's go ahead and look back on this classic from NXT TakeOver 36. This is Walter vs. Ilja Dragunov, NXT UK Championship, the rematch. Folks, you can watch both of these matches by way courtesy of W Vault on YouTube. Links will be in the description down below. Walter, I'm at the 1 second mark, so on your cue, count it down, let's it go, and let's watch along. Walter vs. Ilja Dragunov 2.
3, 2, 1, play.
As we go down, just like a car referee for this match.
Damn, no entrances?
W Vault just goes straight into the match, which I kind of a little bit annoyed by, but you know what? Just get right into the action. Again, to your point, Ilja Dragunov was never the same again following the absolute violent, brutal combat that left him gurgling blood, incapacitated in a rear naked choke sleeper hold that allowed him to look at himself through his own eyes, not through those red contact lenses, reminding himself, I may not be unfallible, but it doesn't mean I have to give up, and I can beat what is impossible.
Dang, Walter, look at the size of that man.
300 pounds, swing and a miss. Ilja Dragunov again, speed on Ilja Dragunov's side.
And I love that he had my real name. That's what I love. I was like, dude, somebody has my name.
And of course, Walter, as I said, the Ring General, who prides himself as a throwback, considering the mat is sacred. The sport is not a joke. Literally, Gunther is taking on the antithesis of freaking comedy role play here in the world of professional wrestling on sports entertainment and taking on John Cena Saturday. Kind of crazy when you think about it.
You know what's funny? That we just watched JBL versus Cena, and this kind of Walter's body kind of reminds me of JBL, like at this point.
Gunther, Walter, of course, right now, 38 years of age, 6'4", currently 251 pounds. Back here, though, he was close to 300 pounds.
Look at that knee strike that he just did to Ilja. Right.
The thing about Walter Gunther, why I've always loved watching this man wrestle in and out of even becoming part of the WWE and NXT UK. Of course, being the foundation of NXT UK, the longest reigning NXT UK champion, of course. He is so methodical, but his style, his arsenal, it's so simple. The Dragunov right now looking maybe for a submission takeover with Walter on the mat. Big boot, though, sends Ilja up. Oh, man. And Dragunov literally just focusing in. Oh, my gosh. Catching Walter out of midair and planting him down, not looking for a single leg crab or modified heel hook.
Dude, these two were so well matched. They literally were the antithesis, the epitome of one another. Like literally.
A headlock takeover, and now headlock takeover by Ilja Dragunov here. I asked you this question, by the way, Walter, considering what we're dealing with on Saturday. Does John Cena need to take Gunther down to the mat to get the better of him, or should he focus more on a vertical strike-based approach?
Vertical, because Walter can match you on the mat. Like they both have brute strength and can brawl with one another, but if
Ooh.
you go down to the mat with him, it's like you went into his world. So don't. I think Cena will be at a disadvantage because he's giving him the advantage.
Walter, at this point, folks, was NXT UK United Kingdom champion for 870 days.
Literally, every time he won a title, man, just nobody could take that shit off him.
And you see the Dragunov right now, keeping Walter close to the inside of his body in the side headlock here. And you think about, again, the spirit of Ilja Dragunov was broken back in 2020. We talked about John Cena and how his body made waivers, saying he can't keep up with the roster, which is why he decided on this closure as of 3 years ago in planning. But I do wonder, will Walter Gunther be able to break John Cena's spirit? Say, I'm going to make you give up. We just talked about how we haven't seen John Cena give up tap-wise since 2005. That was 20 years ago. Of course, Capital Wrestling Center at the time hosting NXT. You see right now we get a clean break here.
You know what this is making me do, man? It's making me miss this era NXT watching this shit.
Okay, maybe side tangent. The black and gold, the black and red, the retrospective of what was NXT at its best. Again, Walter, went for the chop. The Dragunov able to sketch that. And of course, the very number one thing John Cena will need to avoid more than anything else is Walter's chops.
The insertion of the UK division is what made me go, wow.
Again, very intelligent wrestling here by Ilja Dragunov. Again, look at the short arm scissors here being applied. Of course, you're a fan of traditional wrestling, Walter. I don't think we're going to see a lot of that, though, come Saturday.
Hell no. We're going to see brawling. Might see something closer to the original match.
Again, though, there's no tell the tape when it comes to Talin General and John Cena. They've never faced each other before.
Mm-hmm.
Shoulders down again. The one-arm deadlift by Walter, hoisting up Ilja Dragunov up high on the shoulder.
Damn. The strength of that man.
Trying to break the grip of Ilja away from his left arm. Oh, God!
If you think about it, Ilja is more similar to Cena. And look at Walter. Look at the difference. Like,
yeah, I'm about to say, there's a difference right there. There's a difference maker. I think Ilja is reliving nightmares. That chop that took him down from the top to the floor. Good Lord.
God, I miss this era.
And right now, Walter holding up with a apron bomb.
No.
Shades of Kevin Owens to Sami Zayn going all the way back at NXT R Evolution. Of course, we saw what that led to.
Yep.
I was watching that match earlier, actually, ironically enough, when he took the title from Neville, when it was career versus title. Yeah, Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett and Beth Phoenix were commenting at the time for this. For those that are, of course, keeping up with us, this was the last takeover in NXT history.
Yep. And what a fucking takeover it was.
Right? 2 days worth. And right now, Walter trying to break the grip of the Dragunov away from the ropes. Double chop. German suplex. We talk about Brock Lesnar being the mayor of Suplex City. There's no telling how many times Gunther is going to suplex John Cena up high on his head. By the way, look at this. That was a chop to the side of the head, by the way, not the chest.
And the Austrian from doing a German suplex. How fitting.
Ironically there. This match, by the way, took place, folks, August 22nd, 2021. And again, Walter exercising his will against the challenger, looking for the full Boston Crab. Talked about before, Gunther's run in the last of his now tournament. Submission win against Javon Evans. Pinfall win on Solo Sikoa. Submission win on LA Knight. And immediately the full Boston Crab applied on Ilja Dragunov in the middle of the ring.
Didn't I call it too? I said they were going to make that all about the never give up versus the man who's been tapping everybody out. And look, they immediately started putting that on TV. Stop watching us and then not giving us credit.
Now transitioning into possibly the STF or a crossface.
How fitting, elbow. STF like Cena.
And more of a crossface here, though, when you look at the side of the body and the forearm breaks across the jawline via the Dragunov, though, Walter.
Well, he let go of the leg.
Again,
look
right
at that
now,
scar on Dragunov's face. Remember that?
Yeah, about to say that scar is going to last for years to come. The snapmare. Oh God, the kick right to the shoulder blades.
Ow, dude, he soccer kicked him, like, seriously.
Yeah, literally the nightmare that's been haunting Ilja Dragunov for the better part of almost a year was the leading general Walter.
How far have the three of these people come? The referee, Ilja, and Walter. Sheesh.
It's definitely a beautiful thing seeing the evolution. While, of course, John Cena reaches his conclusion, but at least he's got closure that he's comfortable with. Ilja's still fighting back. Oh, God, and Walter with the shot.
Oh, my God. And there's the sleeper that if he gets a hold of Cena, man.
Yeah, about to say, Ilja trying to block it, though, but that forearm is right underneath the jawline. And Ilja might be out. Now Walter transitioning for the power. And Ilja countering. Trying to hoist up the 300-pound. Oh, straight on a back body drop.
Got him. Dude.
You talk about, again, how much John Cena prides himself on the discipline of strength and bodybuilding. Ooh, there's no telling how much John Cena's going to test himself lifting up Gunther. We know how hard it is for John Cena to handle bigger opponents than him.
Yep, and we didn't know 4 years later how these two would be on the top, man. Look, Ilja, a U.S. champion, doing so much stuff with open challenges, and then Gunther, of course, a two-time world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, again, Dragunov somehow still alive in this fight, looking for Konstantin, and Walter able to scout a hook and Dragunov hard on the top of his head. Big vicious takedown, hooked in their leg for a 2 count.
That was almost like a side effect that Matt Hardy does for, like, with the rotation.
Or just a modified Uranagi driving Ilja down in the mat.
Dude, I don't know how Ilja is even surviving at this point.
Endurance is going to be a factor. Keep in mind, Walter, we are literally calling this Saturday night's main event. And, of course, we know the matches will get the time needed. There will be no restraint. And John Cena and Gunther are the opener.
They're probably going to go at least an hour. How much you want to bet?
Dude, John Cena hasn't gone for an hour in a match since Randy Orton Bragger match.
They're going to let him. They're going to let him. All right. I'm going to put it now. Oh, crap. When this comes out, it's going to already be post-WrestleMania. Listen, I'm going to say 45. It is December 11th at 10:43 p.m. Eastern. Cena versus Gunther is going to go between 45 minutes to an hour. I've called it here at that date, guys.
Jesus. And Walter again. Oh, my God. Just kicked Ilja sideways. Dragunov could be literally out. Literally turning the page on Ilja Dragunov's chances here become an NXT UK champion. Take a look at this boot, by the way. Watch this, Walter. Boom!
Why did he even want to exchange? When he was on the ground, he wanted to exchange kicks with Gunther. Are you crazy?
Strong fighting spirit. That Tolkon. New Japan levels of discipline. And again, the Dragunov saying, Brian here again, baptized by fire, forged in combat since 2017, have been the story of these two. Talk about being in self-control, though. Emotions got to be on an all-time high here for Ilja Dragunov in this redemption. I can imagine what the emotions are going to be at with John Cena come this Saturday against the lean general. So who has more pressure this Saturday, Gunther or Cena at that point?
I think Gunther, because Cena's riding into the sunset no matter what. So Gunther has all the pressure to be the one to end it. If Cena wins and goes off into the sunset, that's it. Gunther has to deal with the fallout and continue his career, knowing that Cena, he will always be the last person Cena beat.
Ilja Dragunov right now hammerlocking the arm behind the back, hammering anvil elbows beside the head, but GUNTHER once again hoisting up Ilja up on the shoulders. Again, though, Ilja trying to fight back here.
And remember, that's bone on bone. There's no knee pad.
Boom! And he just caught Walter, to your point, with a bone-exposed knee to the jaw. Rocking the lean general.
I forgot. He only has a knee pad now because, I mean, a brace because he broke his knee, or the MCL, ACL, whatever he tore.
The ACL, MCL, UCL, one of the three. Oh, God! Big clothesline from Austria connects. Covered by Walter to retain a kick out at 2.
Well, a few moments ago, we couldn't see JBL connected to Cena, but we damn sure just saw Walter connected to Dragunov.
And no kidding here, and literally intercepting him first on midair. Wham! Driving him hard, and then the follow-up, to your point. Knocking him back, literally, to Berlin. Good Lord.
Russia versus Austria.
Somehow Ilja still survives. A mantra of never give up does not mean you're unbreakable, but it means your spirit is unwavering. You refuse to die. You refuse to relent. You refuse to let go, let up. You refuse to show weakness. There's got to be a vulnerability come this Saturday. Whether or not GUNTHER knows it, or John Cena can find it. Wait a minute.
Think about this, though. Guess who never gave up in this portion, in this story? It was Ilja, right?
Correct. His body passed out while gurgling blood. His body gave out before his spirit. And I do wonder, would GUNTHER settle for that? Incapacitating the leader of hustle, loyalty, and respect versus making him tap. Deadlift German!
How the hell did he do that to Walter?
Adrenaline makes men do crazy things. You saw that chop light up Ilja Dragunov on the back.
Dude, look at his chest and his shoulder area. Look at the scar, the redness.
Just surprisingly, it's not nearly as bad as it was in 2020. I'll tell you that much. Now hoisting up Walter. Dragunov into the cover, hugging the far leg to become the United States champion. Nearly won the UK title.
He just literally flipped Walter. Like, jeez.
Dead lift, actually. Dead freaking lift.
I'm getting emotional, man. I missed this version of NXT, man.
Don't start me, bro. Don't start me.
We gotta do on my channel just a retro NXT. Like we'll from
just pick a random takeover.
No, we're gonna do we'll do every single NXT takeover until this one. We'll pick a month. We gotta pick a month with 31 days, and we're just gonna do a different NXT takeover.
All right, it sounds like a project that you're having a vision for in 2026. While we're looking at the vision of Ilja Dragunov trying to break the lean general. Well, we wonder what the vision is going to be Saturday night with John Cena after the post-bell rings. God. And Ilja looking to follow up. I mean, a kind of sleeper.
Oh, my God.
Intercepting the Pino Moscow, trying to get past the Ilja Dragunov, and again dropping him high on his head.
Damn, he almost turned that into a dragon suplex the way he did that.
Jesus Christ. Walter Roth out of nowhere, Torpedo Moscow connects Ilja flying through the lean general.
I'm making a pun because of Cena, but he really didn't see that coming. He did not see that. He was turned completely around.
He saw that second round, though. Cover! Kick out at 2.
Ilja's thinking, what the f do I got to do?
How many times have we seen that in John Cena's illustrious career? The last time I remember him seeing that dumbfounded was against the phenomenal AJ Styles, who he had literally christened the best to ever do it.
By the way, watching that interview, isn't it weird to hear Cena say the initials TNA?
I'm about to say, I mean, I don't think it's completely weird. We saw what Samoa Joe did on Winter is Coming. I'm just saying.
I know. No, it's weird to hear Cena say TNA. Like he was giving AJ all that praise and they kept saying TNA. And it was like, yo, that sounds so weird coming out of Cena mouth.
Well, obviously, he cared about the product. He cared about what AJ did in that other place. Again, it was Mr. TNA versus Mr. WWE at Crown Jewel and arguably one of our matches of the year. Oh, God, that's it. Cover with the chop bang backwards kick out 2.5.
Did you see how he spun chop Walter's knee? What the
freaking falling back slump, and now Walter looking for that big splash. Now Ilja, you gotta be kidding me. What the hell?
Dude, that could really hurt Dragunov, by the way, because he was trying to do like that duck thing and still got hurt.
That's still one of the damnedest superplexes I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Ilja Dragunov going coast to coast, keeping on the attack, and it might take literally a relentless assault for John Cena to overcome the lean general. We talked about before during John Cena's early days from his aggression. He was like fire. He started hot out of the gate. Do you start fast or do you start slow against Gunther?
You got to start fast to shock him. He won't expect that from Cena. Remember, he's 48 years old. You said it yourself. Holy shit.
I don't think John Cena will expect a freaking drop kick from that type of person. Powerbomb, high stack cover to retain the title, kick at you.
Oh, man. He should have double powerbombed him.
How much does it take? How many will they endure? How long will it last in the last match?
Yeah.
As we look at how long this match lasted for the Lean General versus Ilja Dragunov. And this was a follow-up. Again, this Saturday is the first time ever encounter for the last time.
Few and far between matches stand up to what they were. Like, you ever watch a match and then you think it's the best thing ever, and then years later watching again and be like, why was I so into that match? Man, this match lives to the test of time, man. We're watching this 4 years later and still, shit, this is a match.
Well, you consider again the ruthless nature of redemption to be found for Ilja Dragunov. And Walter looking to hold on to United Kingdom Championship. Come on, kick at you. You talk about the one intangible you can't measure no matter what. Let's look at the replay here. Ilja just taking this. Golly.
The powerbomb? Shit.
And that needs the gut before the powerbomb, and then the giant splash that allowed Walter to win the NXTUK Championship from the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. All 300 pounds of the Lean General crashing on Ilja Dragunov, and Ilja still is alive.
Look at these forearms. What the?
I'm about to say, you see Walter on top of the challenger here, covering up, now transitioning. Might be shared to what happened in 2020, hoisting up Ilja. Ilja, though, preventing Walter from taking him down. Again, how is he still managing to operate at this point?
I have no idea.
The second! Dragunov driving his body through the Lean General once more, literally throwing caution to the wind and its own well-being be damned.
Mm-hmm.
Dropping the bombs on Walter. And now just continuing the assault, driving the elbows. Walter covering up.
Wasn't that his move? He does that dive elbow.
Yeah, H-bomb, of course, that he christened it now as, to a degree that was kind of like his move. Again, all the assault on Walter's head, on Walter's neck. Ilja Dragunov looking for the rear naked choke. Walter, though, with leverage, back up to the vertical base, carrying on Ilja Dragunov's weight. And once again, finding his way out of the grip of the challenger. Now Walter up to the high-risk district on the second rope. Ilja on the back. Electric chair drop. Oh!
Oh, that was smart. Dragunov let him go, so it's not as impactful.
But look at Ilja immediately back on the attack.
Dude, these elbows to the side of the head. Let him mess your equilibrium up.
Again, literally devastating strikes, ruining the Lean General right now. Walter might literally be fainting here. Trying to squeeze the life out of 800 plus days of unimposed dominance.
Back to the same position.
And again, though, can Walter pick him up, though, and once again force Ilja to let go of the hold. Electric chair backdrop. Ilja still holds on.
Yeah, Walter made it worse.
And about to say, Ilja refusing to be denied. How much will John Cena deny defeat versus victory this Saturday?
Rolling over.
Again,
now you made it worse. You made it a bulldog choke.
Well, that's because, again, Ilja maintained the hold, and right now Walter is on the defensive position. I don't think we've seen Cooper on the defensive position so far during his illustrious WWE career on the main roster.
Dude, Ilja just treated him like a soccer boy. Kicked the shit out of his head.
And a vicious chop again, and a vicious forearm again. Blunt force impact to the back of the head of Gunther. Hooking him up. Dear Chico, that's it.
That was tight too. He grabbed his own bicep to make it tighter.
Literally ripping him off the mat, and Ilja Dragunov finds redemption and closure 1 year later since their first encounter for the NXT UK title.
That might be the first and last time I ever saw Walter tap.
Got a legitimate tap out.
Do you think? Let's think about it. I think that was the last time and the only time.
And to your point, the Lean General's first defeat in WWE came at the hands of Ilja Dragunov and its unwavering intensity to seize the NXT UK Championship.
Can we bring
What
that
a
belt
moment.
back, by the way? That's a beautiful belt.
And damn right it is. That's why I still
I
have
should
my
buy it, and I'm gonna buy it with the Walter side plates.
Dude, that's what I have exactly. Again, that sets on drop. The punishment that Ilja Dragunov endured versus the mounting comeback that Walter was to be overcome by the challenger. Again, though, as soon as Ilja found his target in a bubble state, he did not let up. He did not give up. But Walter tapped out when he just couldn't handle no more. And that's what Gunther may need to do if he's going to be on the opposite side of this decision.
Ilja was so determined to use Walter's weapon against him because Walter made him tap out. He wanted to make him tap out so bad. I wonder if Cena feels the same way. Maybe Cena's going to try to make Gunther quit since Gunther keeps bringing up that Cena doesn't tap. Is he going to try to use the STAF? I was going to say STFU, but he doesn't call it that anymore. Is he going to pull out other people's moves? Is he going to try to make Gunther tap? Is it going to be tap for tap, or is Cena just going to go back to his old resourceful self?
Well, we've already seen John Cena already show that he's willing to put out all the stops this year to bring out the absolute best because we deserve it as those that have followed him for the last 25 close to some odd years. But to that point, again, this match showed Walter can be beaten, and he also can be somebody that can tap out. Now we look at the opposite side of the coin with Gunther, who looks to tap out John Cena. Again, the emphatic words, you will give up. Something has to give here this Saturday night, and I truly don't know which way this match should go or how it's going to go. And that's part of an excitement and a scare for me, considering one will not be around again. The other one continues to persevere. But like you said, you've already seen Gunther go back to his roots. I don't think John Cena chain gang ruthless aggression will be enough to overcome the Lean General here. It's going to take a whole different sort of adaptation.
Cena, I've seen Cena rise above hate, but can he rise above Gunther? That's the question for Saturday.
And of course, that question will be answered soon enough, folks, so please stay tuned. That being said, Walter Cruz, thank you so much for this simple retrospective. Before we conclude, I just want to ask you, like I asked Big G, as of course heard Chris Van Vliet ask John Cena to describe some of his greatest rivals and opponents in one word. If you have one word to describe John Cena, what would it be?
Resilient.
All right. Well, we'll see how much that attribute that you gave John Cena comes into play this Saturday. And will that be enough to overcome the Lean General Gunther, the best professional wrestler in WWE, against
what did G say?
Entertainer. GOAT.
I'm surprised he didn't say ruthless.
About to say, based on his choice, I was too. Well, thank you again, Walter. Before we conclude, let's go ahead and remind people what the card is come Saturday night. Besides this, despite the fact it's the opener, I will let you go ahead and tell the tale of the tape.
AJ Styles and Dragon finding their name versus, oh my God, the bouncy duel, Javon Evans and Leon Slater, the X Division champion from TNA. You got Cody Rhodes going one-on-one with Oba Femi. I'm looking forward to how they booking that. I don't know how they booked themselves in the corner with that, but we'll see.
Say, the king versus the ruler, which one falls Saturday night?
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a no contest, and I'm sorry to say that.
Gotta preserve somehow.
Sol Ruka, the NXT climb up versus the NXT veteran in Bailey.
Yeah, about to say, we'll see who hangs 10 or who hugs it out in the end soon enough in this first time ever one-on-one encounter. And of course, last but not least, it may be your main event, folks. It is your opener.
John Cena, for the last time ever, that we will see him in jorts and a t-shirt. Not the last time we'll see him in the WWE, but the next time we see him, he'll look a lot like my friend up there in a suit and tie.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, hustle, loyalty, and respect are morals that I also pride myself on, encouraged by this man, because you only get one chance in this life. That moral Cody said on Tom's podcast about the fragility of life. Tremendous. Again, thank you, Cena, simply put, and thank you all for tuning in again to another episode of the John Cena Simple Retrospective. We hope to see you all come this Saturday night for our call. Again, it will be two men that know John Cena even better than us, taking in the moment for his last match, and they better do their damnedest on this. It will be the regular wrestler JJ Williams and Jeff motherfucking Meacham calling John Cena's last match. As of course, me, Walter, Big G, and who knows who else, we will be with you for the restoration of the show as we transition into the Saturday shenanigans. That will be a John Cena appreciation special. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Let's go ahead and plug where the people can find you, Walter. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. You can find me on the Rage of Wrestling YouTube channel, on Instagram if you want to follow me there at walter.cruz.940, and of course the X at Walter Alex Cruz. And please subscribe to Rage of Wrestling.
Subscribe. Do it now. You hear me? Subscribe. You're watching this man's brand. There's a link in the description. Subscribe. He might upload this to his channel. You don't know. You might be watching this his channel. Subscribe. Simple as that. Well, thank you so much, Walter, and stay tuned for that raw file. Again, folks, you want to follow me? I'm antisocial, I'm introverted, but again, you can find me on the X and on YouTube, and then Foster 916 for all things wrestling, where I only wish to remind you and encourage you, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no bears, just fans with opinions with this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families. Let's all say thank you to John Cena, and just good luck and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the John Cena Simple Retrospective. Looking at the pros, the cons, the attributes that might be needed, and the keys to victory that might need to be found for either John Cena or Gunther for this first and only time around. Thank you all for tuning in once again. Please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. For Walter Cruz, I'm Noah Foster. You no longer can see us, but we will see you come Saturday night for John Cena's final match in Washington, D.C. Until next time, make a positive impact in life and have a good night. And thank you, Cena. Thank you for tuning in once again, folks, to another John Cena Simple Retrospective. Have a good night, folks. And Walter, thank you for joining me again. It's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Cena. Man, that place is going to be ruckus Saturday.
It's going to be the loudest we've ever heard a building, and it's going to be the most polarizing audience to date. Whether it's 50-50 or 90-10, it's going to be raw, loud, and ruthless. And I can't fucking wait. I love it.